Hey guys, PixelDip here for a showcase on the latest Pixelmon Reforged update, Pixelmon 7.3.1. So this update pretty much marks the final update in the Generation 7 series of updates, or the final major one. There may be a couple bug fixing ones that come later on. And next off will be Pixelmon Generation 8, which is super exciting. Anyways, let's dive right into what was added. So first off, we got the Zygarde forms. Previously, we just had the 50% form, but now the 10% and the 100% forms have been added. So, to get these Zygarde forms, now you need to get a Zygarde cube, and to do that, you need 4 deep sea crystals, 4 emeralds, and a sunstone. Once you have the cube, you can go around the overworld where you'll find Zygarde cells, which look like this, adorable, and Zygarde cores, the only difference being the eye and the red bit. So once you find these, you can go up to them and click them with your Zygarde cube, and they will be stored inside. And when you actually hover over it, you'll see how many cells are contained, how many cores, etc. So once you get all of that, you can implement these into this here machine, which is absolutely amazing. It's called the reassembly unit. And what it lets you do is it lets you convert the cube's functions or the cube cells into Zygarde. So if I were to collect 10 of these Zygarde cells, which I will just quickly do in my cube. Nice, we're at 10 cells, and now that we have that, we can try assembling a Zygarde and get a Zygarde 10%, which will now be sent to my PC. So it's as simple as that, and when you actually get these Zygardes, here we have the little dog form, which is super, actually my favorite form, to be honest. Adorable. Can we ride him? We can! Oh my goodness, that makes it even better. Alright, so I believe that you can also deassemble or separate these Zygardes once you get them into the corresponding amount of cells. So now my Zygarde is gone, and he has become 10 more cells in my cube. So that's really neat. And if you want to get the 10% form, it's 10 cells. The 50% is 50 cells, and if you want to get a 50% form with the ability Power Construct, which will enable it to turn into the ultimate form of Zygarde, you'll need 100 cells. Then the cores actually allow you to teach moves to your Zygarde. There's 5 of them, and the moves are Extreme Speed, 1,000 Waves, 1,000 Arrows, Dragon Dance, and Core Enforcer. Some of these are unique to Zygarde, so it's really cool that this is the way to obtain them. Alright, so that's the addition of the Zygardes over with. Then there were also changes to how Celebi spawns. So both Celebi and Zygarde have been removed from natural spawning, and this is now the method to get them. So you'll see these Ilex shrines, which are really cool, based on the event from Gold and Silver to get Celebi, I believe. And these, I'm not sure. I tried checking on the Discord and Wiki where they spawned. It's believed that they spawn in flower forests, but currently that's unconfirmed. The Wiki hasn't been fully updated yet. But once you find these, you can go ahead and use either a Beast Ball or a GS Ball to spawn a Celebi. So if I were to use a GS Ball, I would initiate a battle with the normal variant of Celebi, which is right here. And I'm going to end battle because my poor Mareep is not in a good position here. And if I were to use a Beast Ball on the Ilex Shrine, you can get a special form of Celebi. In battle, the custom texture doesn't show up, but you can see the sprite in the top left corner. And then if I go ahead and use my Master Ball, you'll be able to see that we can get a alien form Celebi. But I believe the form is partially inspired by the show Invader Zim. There are people in my Discord who are really into that show, so they were sure to point it out to me. But yeah, here's the special texture of Celebi, which is really neat, based on Invader Zim. Alright, awesome. So that's the new method for Celebi, and then also the method for getting spiky-haired Pichu has been changed, or spiky-eared, I don't know why I said haired, has been changed to if you get a Pichu with max friendship, you can go ahead and click on an Ilex shrine, and apparently that will convert your Pichu into this form, which is from the game Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs, I believe. Really neat. Anyways, let's dive into the next few additions, which are new decoration items. I have some of them over here. There's some workspaces. There's a cashier for if you were designing a Pokemart. There are couches, TVs, and a bench. Really cool additions for if you're running a Pixelmon server or creating an adventure map. It helps liven up the world a bit. And Pixelmon actually has really good decoration support. So props to everyone who's been working on these. It's really neat additions to the mod. Alright, then we have another big thing. We have a whole set of additions based on the spin-off game for iPhone and Android called Magikarp Jump. And I've actually played this game quite a lot. I think I got a few golden Magikarp, so that was pretty cool. I grinded it out and it was pretty fun. Anyways, the way this works is that you'll see these guys called Old Fishermen appear in the overworld. When you go to him, you can take a old rod, which say you got from earlier, talk to him, and he will appraise it. Here, he says there's nothing special about it, so we got quite a bad old rod. And then after you appraise it, it'll say underneath the name what rating it is. So standard, so-so, and I think there's an almost perfect golden old rod will not allow you to get the new Magikarp forms, or maybe they will, but not with a full rarity. But the supreme old rod is what you need to fish the special forms of Magikarp every time. And then there's also a creative item called OA's fishing rod. I believe he's the dev that probably incorporated it in the game, which you can use to pretty much act as a supreme old rod if you're just making an adventure map or a server and you want players to get it. So just to demonstrate here, we're going to catch a Magikarp with the Master Ball, which is awesome. Here we go. So this one is a white spotted Magikarp. Awesome. So we'll go ahead and catch him with our Master Ball, because that will lead us into another really cool feature of the whole Magikarp Jump side editions, which is that you can actually log all the Magikarps into this, the fishing log, and it's designed after the UI in the game. It looks pretty much identical to it, minus the font, which has been changed to the Minecraft font, and it's just a really neat addition. So here we have the form which we just caught, which is added, and there's the whole interactive background. Really similar to the games and just awesome UI design, to be frank. Amazing job, guys. And then if you're a completionist, you can catch every single Magikarp, with the golden one being the rarest. And I'm not sure quite how rare it is. The wiki hasn't been updated yet, but you're probably gonna be fishing for a while. And there is a slight bug right now. You can't actually show off these forms on Magikarp statues. Otherwise, I would have shown off all the forms. So if I were to create a Magikarp statue here, then it shows all the different forms. Say I wanted the violet rainbow or raindrop one, but it doesn't actually change that. So that's probably gonna be fixed in the next update. I think it's just there are so many Magikarp forms that the statues get overwhelmed when they even think about it. So yeah, that's how you do everything related to the new Magikarp Jump feature. It's really neat. Next off, we have a bunch of pink Pokemon textures, and these spawn either in the air or on land and are just at high rarities, or are more rare than their normal counterparts. Except for Misdreavus and Mismagius, they do not spawn in biomes classified as evil, which I believe includes like roofed forest and biomes along those lines. So then we have one of my favorite additions, which is a ton of new Mareep. So Sheared Mareep actually returns. This was a feature in old Pixelmon. I remember people would like grief Mareeps by just shearing them on servers, and it would annoy people a lot. I'm not sure if you can only shear Mareeps that you own, or if you can shear anyone's Mareep. I don't know what's up with that, but you can also dye Mareep now, which I'm not sure if that was a feature in old Pixelmon. I know Sheared Mareep was. Don't remember the dyeing though. And they die after all the Minecraft dyes available in the game, which is really neat. So now there's 17 forms and 16 different colors of Mareep in game, which is just so neat to think about. And it is raining. You're ruining my review weather. Not cool. So one thing to note, about the Mareeps is right now the brown texture of Mareep and the red are a bit bugged. I believe the red one shows up as brown right now, and the brown shows up as a normal texture when you catch them, or when you try to dye a normal Mareep. Alright, next up we have, okay, I lied about the Mareeps. These are my favorite additions. So we have a sushi form of Pyukumuku, which is the most adorable thing ever. And we have a surfer, a Alolan Raichu, and some summer forms of Lopunny, as well as the school form for Wishiwashi, which works the same way in normal games. If it's above level 20 and its HP is over 25% in battle, it'll automatically turn into this form of Wishiwashi. Before, there was only the regular form of Wishiwashi incorporated. They hadn't programmed it and have the model yet. So now it's fully in, which is awesome. So to get these summer textures of Pokemon, including the sushi, which isn't a summer texture, but I just grouped it in. For Pyukumuku, you can get him in the ocean seafloor at any time, but he is quite rare. You can get Lopunny on cold beaches in the morning, Alolan Raichu at a stone beach at dawn or dusk. Sick, so that's how you get all of them, and they are just really neat textures. And I believe that the Lopunny and maybe the Raichu were made by Eli, or Eli's team, and they're the guys that make the textures for my Pixelmon Fallout series on my main channel. So it's really cool that they're doing stuff for the official mod. Props to you guys, man. Next off, we got something that also relates to my channel, Rainbow Ho-Oh. I've actually included Rainbow Ho-Oh as a custom texture in my series for a long time now. Although this Rainbow Ho-Oh looks like the one that Tyranitar Tube included in his Extreme Randomizer series. But it's a really neat texture, and then they also added rainbow variants for Ponyta and Rapidash, but right now, the way to obtain them is using this Rainbow Wing item, but currently it's unknown how you get this. I believe that the Pixelmon devs want people in the community to figure this out by themselves. Maybe this will be a giveaway in the future. I know some textures, like Shadow Lugia, are locked behind giveaways sometimes, but we'll just have to wait and see. Right now it's unknown. Maybe you could be the person to figure it out. Dope. Alright, next off we got another texture that people don't know how to find yet, which is the realistic texture, they call it, of Solgaleo. It kind of looks Sphinx-like, so maybe that's the inspiration, like a desert form of Solgaleo. Really neat nonetheless. And then we got the legend himself, Joker form Zoroark, who spawns in plains at midnight, but of course is a very rare spawn. And then we got the Kecleon variant from Mystery Dungeon, who spawns in the jungle at night, but then again is quite rare. Awesome! So yeah, these are just really neat additions to kind of close off Gen 7 moving into Gen 8. It gives players a lot to do if you're on a server looking for these guys or just playing in survival. It's really neat. Alright, so then we have some more cool stuff, starting off with Crystal Onyx, Crystal Steelix, and Mega Crystal Steelix. So these guys spawn in the mountain or mesa biomes at dawn or morning, and they are based on the Crystal Onyx, which appears in the Pokemon anime, although the texture is a lot more detailed and well done. I really like it. Nice addition, dudes. So then we also have these new blocks for aluminium and for silicon, which can be used to store your excess aluminium and silicon, or just for decoration. I mean, this is quite neat, the silicon block. I like it a lot. Then in more kind of tweaks, that Araquanid is not looking too hot with the shaders. Trust that he looks good without him, I apologize. There were animations added, or new animations, for Sableye, Excadrill, and Araquanid, who again is not looking his finest. Then the texture of Shadow Lugia was changed, but this is not the Shadow Lugia texture because you can only obtain it with a giveaway code, I'm fairly sure. This is actually the drowned form of Lugia, and there are a lot of drowned forms in game that I had no idea about, like a drowned Pyukumuku. The more you know, man, the more you know. Then another Pokemon that is currently unobtainable, or people haven't figured out how to get this yet, is a new special texture for Rayquaza, which is called the Altar Rayquaza, and a lot of people have confused it for the game adding an altar, like a spawn shrine for Rayquaza, but that's not the case. It's just an alternative texture. But there are mysteriously 3 rubies on Rayquaza's chest, so maybe spawning him has something to do with the ruby of willpower, knowledge, and emotion, which you get from defeating Uxie, Azelf, and Mesprit. Maybe not though, or maybe the red chain, I don't know. Then you can also use infusers to craft incenses. Previously you could use them to craft stuff like gems, although the recipes are not available on the wiki yet, but I'll link the wiki in the description in case you want to have a look when they're updated. It'll be within the next week. The Minior cores were also colored. I think before there was only the open core, or maybe only one of the forms of the broken cores. I'm not actually sure how Minior's ability fully works. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments, but they added all the colors. That was the addition to the update. So then another big one is quests, although I don't have a lot to show off for this. There was a new quest menu added here where you can track your quests, abandon them, check out your history. Here are some that I completed. I believe these 3 are the ones that are given to every player at the beginning. The first one is Village Roots. So the first thing you'll need to do is find a village, because quests are obtained from villagers who will have an exclamation mark above their head, and then they'll give you a quest. However, I haven't been able to find any quests, and apparently they're quite rare. Even the least, or even the standard quests are quite rare to find, so I don't have any examples of that for you guys, but go to NPCs and villages and eventually you'll find them. Cool. So there are 4 types of quests. There are yellow quests, which are standard. You can only beat them once, and they'll give you a fairly alright reward. Like one of my quests, which was the medic one, gave me 3 potions when I beat it, which is pretty neat. Then there's blue quests, which are frequently repeatable. So they're probably like defeating a certain Pokemon, getting a certain drop, whatever, catching a Pokemon. And that's something that you can do maybe daily, or maybe there's no time limit for them to just get a bunch of items. Really cool. Then there's instantaneous quests, which are completed as soon as you receive them. So that means just finding like a rare NPC or something along those lines. Then finally there's legendary quests, which are red. And those are quests that will lead you to either getting a special variant or a rare Pokemon, or a legendary. So I'm guessing that there may be some legendary quests that haven't been figured out, because right now all the quest information is super secretive. But if I were to hedge any bets, I would say that this Rayquaza might be a quest item, because they haven't wanted to spoil it for anyone. So if you do figure out how to get any of the textures, or maybe the Solgaleo as well, that would make sense. But if you know, let me know in the comments, because I'm quite curious myself. Then finally, there were new zombie textures added. I absolutely adore this Arcanine. I really want to get one in one of my series. How cool is that? I mean, the 4 eyes and the markings on his body, it's just awesome. And then this cute little spooky ghost ditto as well. Then there were mega variants for the pre-existing zombie forms for the starters that were added. And there is actually a method for getting these on the wiki right now, which is linked down below. I believe it has something to do with placing a jack-o'-lantern on your starter when there's low luminosity, something along those lines. I don't want to go into it because that was a previous update thing. Then Samurott also got one. Maybe he was missing one from the Halloween textures, and Ash Greninja and Mega Gyarados as well. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that wraps up this update, unless I'm missing anything super obvious. So yeah, the next major Pixelmon update will be Generation 8 related. I've seen some pretty cool teasers that obviously I can't share, but it is looking amazing. So yeah, just trust that that is coming kind of soonish, and I will definitely cover it on the channel. Anyways, dudes, I'll be uploading a new episode of Pixelmon Lustrous Topaz tomorrow, I believe, and there'll be more stuff on the main channel soon. So yeah, dudes, that's pretty much it for this update. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you figure out how to get any of the mysterious textures, or if you happen to obtain a legendary quest, because I want to know what they are, just out of curiosity. And if you enjoyed, then leaving a like on the video would help a lot. Obviously you don't have to, and subscribe to the second channel if you like Pixelmon content. And of course, most importantly, support Pixelmon Reforged by downloading it and joining the Discord in the description down below. Alright dudes, a new episode of Lustrous Topaz will be out soon, and more main channel stuff soon, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye.